Hello. So today's video is really exciting. I got some new markers in, some new acrylic markers. Obviously, I already unboxed them before I filmed my little intro, but I got the new Ohuhu Nahuku acrylic markers and the Arrtx acrylic markers. It's a newer version. I have the older version. So later on in the video, we're just going to do a big comparison of all of my acrylic markers that I own, which includes all of the old Arrtx acrylics, the Posca pens that I have, the Sharpie creative markers, and really any acrylic markers that I find in my collection. But if you're just interested in seeing the new markers, I will put a timestamp below so that you can just see those swatches and see how they test out. I did test out these markers on watercolor paper. I want to say it's cold press watercolor paper, Talon's Art Creations paper, it's sketchbook, and I believe some Strathmore toned paper. And I will definitely give you some information about what I have discovered just testing it the past few days, about the differences between these marker sets. So if you're interested in that, just keep watching and you'll get to the other swatch tests at the end of the video. Hello, voiceover Olinda coming to you from the tiny art studio in the closet. I'm going to go through these swatch tests that I'm about to do, and I'll let you kind of just take a look, but just a few bullet points, I would say. The Ohuhu set that you're seeing me swatch out right now, the pros for me were the carrying case it comes in, because Ohuhu tends to package all of their stuff in very portable bags, whereas Arrtx, you'll see later on, I will show you all the boxes that I get from Arrtx, which I don't really use because they're not travel friendly for me. One of the pros with the Ohuhu set was that it came with a really dark brown, and the colors were really pretty, I'll say, but I'm trying to think of any other positives. Pretty affordable. I would say $24 for $20.99 US is a pretty reasonable cost, considering the Sharpie creative markers that I will give you the cost for in just a moment. I guess besides that, I like the brush tip. I'm partial to brush tip pens and things like that, so I like that. And the little window on the side where you can see how much ink is in the pen. Those are my positives for the Ohuhu markers. My negatives, it only came in a 24 set. They didn't have any other colors. The ink tended to be a little bit more translucent than the Arrtx ink, so not as opaque, which may have caused it to become so streaky, because you might be able to see it. I know I can, but almost all of the colors came out very streaky. I would say that one of my neutral points was that it has a sheen kind of finish in comparison to like the Arrtx, which is like a matte. I don't really care. I'm not bothered by the sheen that Ohuhu had, nor am I looking for a matte finish. So again, it's kind of a neutral point. The Arrtx markers here, my positives being that they're very juicy, very opaque. This set came in a set of 36 colors, and it was $36.99 US. I got both of these sets on Amazon, and I believe the prices are still the same. They could have gone up, I'm not sure. I love the white acrylic marker in this set, and I love the brush tip. I noticed that I could get very fine lines with this brush tip over any of the other brush tips that I'm about to show you. So, like, really fine lines. I'm not even kidding. I will use both of these in a piece of art near the end of the video, and you'll be able to kind of see that. More positives, the fact that you could unscrew the whole barrel and pull it out and you can look at the ink. I think that makes them possibly replaceable, at least that portion of it. I don't know. The colors are really nice, but they were a little muted, so that would be kind of a negative for me. They were just kind of like almost pastel, but they're gorgeous. You can see, like, they're very, very pretty. There is like a really neon orange in that set, and I love it. It's one of my favorites to use for backgrounds. As far as the negatives go for that set, I just wish that there were more colors, kind of like the Ohuhus. These are the boxes that all my Arrtx products have come in, like the colored pencils, and this is the old acrylic marker box. The new one was flat, and they all came lying down. I don't like that the old ones came where you would have to sticker them yourself. And there was no window on them. You couldn't see how much ink was in there. So I would say that's another negative for at least the old Arrtx acrylic marker set. But a positive being that these are over a year old and they're still so opaque, so juicy. This set that you're seeing that I'm pulling out is the Pentel Milky Brush set. Very limited colors, but very pretty, very pastel. And then Posca markers that I'm going to be testing out. While they're very popular, they are my least favorite acrylic marker, and that is because of the bullet tip that I see so many of them come in. It rips up my paper every time. Like, I can't stand it, honestly. I would choose something else. There is a bullet tip on the Sharpie Earth color set, but that bullet tip is soft and squishy and just loaded with ink. It is nothing like the Posca bullet tip. So if you hate the Posca bullet tip like I do, you will love the Sharpie bullet tip. So don't be afraid of getting the earth tone set like I was. I am also testing out some Sakura solid paint markers in this review, only because it's acrylic paint and I figure it'll go well with the rest of these. Also at the very top by the old Arrtx set, I'm going to test out the Sakura Perma Pack paint pen, another acrylic paint pen, but I only have one color. You will also see the split solid rainbow marker or solid marker come up. Just another acrylic solid paint stick marker, whatever. And one thing I did not get to test on camera is the second Ohuhu paint marker set that I have, and it's just called Ohuhu acrylic paint pens. It is a 24 color set, but it comes with 48 pens because it comes with a bullet tip like the Posca one and a fine tip, finer than any of them that I've ever tested. But I will say that they're both really hard marker tips, like hard plastic, so the blendability is rough. Like, it's more if you're just dropping ink down on something rather than blending, because it's not a soft squishy tip, and I had some issues. I had some like puddles of ink because of that, because it's not a flexible tip. So just keep that in mind. You'll see that paint set in a moment. So I'm just gonna let you watch the rest of this and I'll come back in a little bit. All right, hi, I'm back. So the swatch test is complete, at least in this sketchbook, and I will probably put up a short clip of the other sketchbooks that I did the swatch tests in. But anyway, this is the box that the Arrtx acrylic markers came in. This is the little Ohuhu carrying bag, as you can see. Clearly I like one over the other, but still, these markers are just beautiful anyway, regardless of whether they came in a carrying bag. This is the old marker compared to the new one. You can see the differences there with the different brush tips, because this was kind of a, like I said, it was a lot finer tip on the new one versus the old one. Clearly the old one still has a lot of ink in it because it just dabbed me with some, but we're going to test them out side by side. Both are still very, very pigmented, and I will test out the Ohuhu green marker alongside, I think a comparable green. And I still really like these Ohuhu markers. Just the design of the marker body is very nice. And you can see like the matte finish compared to that shiny finish from Ohuhu. Yes, the Ohuhu is still wet, but it will dry with that kind of like satin sheen. Next we'll compare the Sharpies. We have the Sharpie brush tip marker, and I have the Sharpie bullet tip that I'll show you in just a moment. There's that bullet tip. It's much thicker. As you can see, it's a little bit longer, and the bullet tip is very nice and plush. Like, it is a very, very good bullet tip. So you'll see how it kind of goes. Also incredibly pigmented, also a little bit of a sheen. And this is the other Ohuhu set that I swatched off camera. I'm going to show you what they look like. The 48 markers, but 24 colors. Obviously there's no difference between what ink is in the fine tip versus the thicker tip because the colors look the same. It is simply just the tip on the marker. So this is the carrying case it came in. So there's the bullet tip. We're going to test that out. And like I said, it's very much like a Posca marker. You have to press and shake, but I don't like it because, like a Posca marker, the ink will move around a lot because it's not like a plush tip. It's just kind of pushing the ink from side to side. As you can see, it's like scraping it because it's a very, very hard tip. And then we're going to do the corresponding fine tip color. Look at that fine tip nib. And if you're not pressing super hard with it, usually you can get some really good fine line structure and not move the ink around too much or get like a puddle of ink, because that is what kept happening with me. A little too much pressure and you just have a puddle. But look at that. It has a very fine line, and I love that. But because it only comes in 24 colors, you know, hopefully it's something that would be usable for someone that is interested in like basic colors for fine lining with acrylic. Next up, I'm going to show you a few clips of my swatch test for the original Arrtx. Not the original Arrtx, the new Arrtx and the new Ohuhus. I'll show you a clip of those here. And this is going to be on the Strathmore 500 series toned paper, like I had mentioned. And then I have my watercolor sketchbook. I don't know the GSM, unfortunately. I just know it's cold press. I did not save all of the specifications for this sketchbook anywhere, so you just have to take my word for it. It is a watercolor, so it's very thick paper. But I mean, they went on very nicely, but I will say the black kind of looks a little streaky, and it's weird, but the shine, it's not really there for the black one. And it's different colors for the black. I can see like one is more dull than the other. I'm honestly not sure which is which because I don't see a big sheen on them, but I want to say that the bigger portion of that background is done with the Ohuhu, and then the fine lines between the plants and stuff, the darker black, is going to be the Arrtx. That's what I'm thinking. You can see the face of the girl is shiny if I tilt the page, and that is definitely the Ohuhu pink color on top of the Arrtx like skin tone. So you're going to see me finish off this painting and start and complete a drawing using as many of those acrylic markers that we just tested as possible. So enjoy! So that is the finished drawing, and I hope you enjoyed watching my process using all of the acrylic markers that I just tested today. I hope that you may have found some acrylic markers you might be interested in, or if you own these, maybe you haven't used them in a while, maybe you can get out there and use them. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!